Hello, folks. I think I'm going to start off with a disclaimer. If you don't want to see a butchered animal, bugs, maggots, that kind of thing, you should turn this video off and just go watch something else. I've got plenty of other cute videos to watch. This isn't one of them. Having said that disclaimer, I want to share my experience this week. First of all, if I can, I like to feed my dogs raw, but it's just not possible. I just do not have access to enough raw meat to properly feed my dogs. So I'm forced to buy kibble. So don't bother judging me, because unless you're in my shoes, you don't know. Having said that, I ran out of kibble this week. I screwed up and I just ran out. And I really couldn't get more until Friday. Excuse me. So that left me with 2 days of having to find something else for these dogs to eat. And so basically, now Houston won't eat rabbit, but the other two will eat rabbit. And so I've got these rabbits I still needed to butcher. It's been just horrible weather this year for butchering. And so I hadn't gotten to it. And trying to get rid of these rabbits has proven to be quite difficult. But having said that, I decided, even though the wind was horrible, I was going to butcher 2 rabbits to feed the dogs. Didn't have a choice. So I did so. Now, Houston won't eat rabbit no matter what. I don't care what anybody says. The dog would rather die of starvation than eat rabbit. So I only had, he was going to have to, something else was going to have to be done for him. But for Prairie and Sarah, I could give them rabbit. So I butchered the first rabbit, split it up between the 2 of them, and then I went to butcher the second rabbit. And now, Prairie gets fed twice a day, Sarah once a day. So I cut up the meat of that rabbit to accommodate the 2 different feeding cycles. And so I would just be able to, pull what I needed to feed each dog right out of the Ziploc bag. And my plan was to just go throw the Ziploc bag full of rabbit right into the fridge. Well, the back door was locked where I would enter to go do that. And so I just put the bag of rabbit right on the doorstep. And, my plan was to just take care of it as soon as possible. Well, I forgot. And I left the bag for several hours on the steps. And when I finally remembered and went and got it, the ants had found it. And these are big, black, biting ants that go after protein. They do not want sugar. They only want the protein. So I grabbed the bag, went and threw it in the kitchen sink, grabbed the leg out for Prairie, and washed all the ants off, went and fed it to her outside, and I left the bag submerged in water in the kitchen sink, trying to hope that by morning that all the ants would be killed, or, it'd be a better situation for me to handle in the morning. Well, had a bad night. The storms were north of me. Prairie's scared of thunder and everything, woke me up, didn't sleep well. So I wound up oversleeping in the morning, just in time for another round of thunderstorms headed straight for me. Thankfully, they became light by the time they hit me, but I just ran out and did what I could, and I couldn't feed the dogs until late morning. And by that time, this is what I found. I was pretty shocked. There had been no worms, no nothing when I had butchered the rabbit. So I was not expecting to see all this. And I was really dumbfounded at first. But the more I thought about it afterward, the more it occurred to me that, yes, those look like fly maggots. Now, from the time I put it in the, butchered it and put it in the bag, to the time I found these was at the very extreme maybe 24 hours. In all likelihood, maybe 20 hours from the time that these, eggs hatched and started growing. And that's awfully fast. And thinking about it, because you can see I just showed you, see those little holes? The ants chewed holes in the plastic bag, which allowed them to get in and start eating the meat, and would have allowed flies to get in. And we're having tons of flies. With all this rain and everything, the flies have been bad, really bad. There's a variety of kinds of flies. So I'm thinking that the flies came in and while the bag was outside, laid the eggs. And in maybe a 20-hour period, from the time they got laid, they hatched and grew that much, which just seems awfully fast to me. I have a hard time believing it could happen that fast. But what else could it be? If you don't think those are fly maggots, I would like to know what you think they are. I haven't butchered any more rabbits, but I do need to butcher more rabbits, and they would all be fed to my dogs. And I don't want to give my dogs anything bad like that. So I really would like to know your opinion, if you think those are fly maggots or if you think there's something else. Chickens will eat anything. They're pretty gross. And so I just went and dumped the whole entire bag and got all I found little teeny babies, maggots, and the big maggots, and the flies just ate them all. They just go bonkers over that kind of thing. Just love it. So I found something else to feed the dogs on Thursday, and then on Friday I went to town and got some dog food. But I would like your opinion, if you think those are fly maggots or if you think there's something else. I really would like to know. And so that's what happened this week. We've had, trouble feeding the dogs and maggots growing and lots of storms and wind and everything. So it's been hard to videotape, but I just wanted to share that with you. It kind of, if you're wondering where all the flies come from out of the blue, well, if those are fly maggots, that shows you that it doesn't take many hours between eggs being laid and flies, I don't know how long it takes from that stage to develop into a fly, how long that takes, I have no idea. But obviously, it doesn't take very long for them to, grow and everything. So I just wanted to share that with you, and thanks for watching, and comment below. And you have a really nice day.